Runner fans, Elite Godston is here for this new video I'll be doing for you guys, Pixelgun 3D Weapons. I will be doing gameplay about it, but it won't be until next month. But however, I will be showing you guys 100 weapons of Pixelgun 3D, the only top 100 weapons. And I'll do these quick as I can, so for starters, let's begin. Bad code. Never used this weapon before. I did use it earlier for way years ago. Unfortunately, we can't use this because from the previous updates, so it's going to have to be in this category for the campaign world, and I never used them. I did use it before, but, nah. So it's a no-go because it's only campaign. Combat Knife. Decent for casual players. I never used it before. Well, technically I did use it because you can only use it in sniper forts, but I'm gonna say decent for casual players and beginners because of like low level, like at the start of the game and all that. Pretty good, pretty good. Next up is crossbow. I never used this weapon before. I would tend to just only like collect the weapons. I only do, but I never used them. But I'll say it's pretty decent for casual players at low level. Alien gun, campaign world only. These ones, I'll probably say they're OG, but not cat spammable though. They're pretty OG and all that stuff, but I believe it's in between this, but I'm gonna say it's OG because it's really good. Even trying to do it for like raid mini games like Dead City or Magical Valley, really good. Armageddon, it's cat spammable and also OG as well too. You can unlock this at level 3. Really good, really good. Dark Force Saber, it's an OG weapon. I do love that. And it's also cat spammable as well too when you when you keep swapping back over to like your heavy, then your melee, then your heavy, then your sniper, then your melee again, then your primary, then your melee. Really good, really good. Elephant Hunter, OG weapon, really good for cat spams. I did not get this weapon. I'd rather not talk about the huge story again because about that, but I'll explain about it once I reach over to the one weapon that I really wanted to get. But I'm gonna say it's OG weapon. Automatic Peacemaker, decent for casual players and for beginners. It has its way of things, but for any like automatic weapons, I'm just gonna say it's for decent casual players. But there's actually other weapons that are like good for OG weapons, like way back in the days. But I'm just gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners, like they want to grind more coins and gems. The Brutal Headhunter, same thing as the Elephant Hunter. They're both gonna be OG and 3 cat spans because this one's really good. One hit on the head because there was an awesome Trader's Van skin you can actually get. Really good. The Bastion, I still use it sometimes, but it's really difficult for doing 3 cat spams for it, but I'm still saying it's going to be OG on this one. Really good. Assault Machine Gun, I'm going to say it's casual and beginner players. Really good, you can use that. The Enderling, decent for casual players. AK Mini, campaign world, we can't even use those. Any of these weapons I say is for campaign world, we can't even use them, or also for like for arena. Gorilla Rifle, you can possibly do it for cat spams, but I never use this. Well, technically I did use it when I was like low level, but it's like almost like a semi-auto sniper rifle, but this one I'm just gonna say it's decent. I wish I could put up here, but I'm gonna say it's decent on this one. It's just not that good. Combat Rifle, decent for casual players when you're like at level 2 or level 3. Anti-Gravity Blaster, OG and 3 cat spams. I did have this at rare before, but after that I decided to move it up to difficult. I decided to move this up to mythical tier because it's cat spammable, and sometimes you can almost get like a one-on-hit lucky chance, like direct on the enemy, like if you fire it and then like it's like right in the center, like a direct hit on it. So it's OG, it's like OG and 3 cat spammable. The Apocalypse, this one, same thing as well too, but you can only use it like one-time use, so it's like in case of like emergencies, like if you need to like run away if you're like low on health, that's your like biggest one you can do. You can also do some jetpack drops when you're like flying around and then you just do like heavy spams, but people are gonna be annoyed by that. Army Rifle, I could be wrong on the name, but most of these names I'm gonna forget, so you guys don't have to leave me in the comments about that. Army Rifle, Campaign World, we can't even use that. Carrot Sword, I never used this weapon before, but I can use it for collections, but I'm gonna say it's also decent for casual players if you're at low level, but only if you get into like a holiday occasion, but I never use this weapon. Chainsaw, really good for casual players for knife party. Desert Eagle, decent for casual players. It's also good for cat spams, but I'm gonna say it's decent enough as well too. You can also use them when cat spams on it, but you just have to be very lucky on it. You have to swap back. Evil Pig Hammer. I did get this from the lottery, but I never use this weapon, so it's not gonna be good anyways. Exterminator. This one's an OG weapon and also good for 3 cat spams. Freeze Ray Rifle. I never use this, but I only tend to collect it for my armory for my collections of weapons I'm usually getting. Happy Tree Slayer. Never use this weapon, but I use it for like holiday occasions for like Christmas or Thanksgiving or like anytime these weapons I call out will be like holiday occasions for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, or St. Patrick's or anything else like that. I never used this weapon before, but I only tend to get it for like lottery events. If I do see some, like I just had to get it right away. Assault Machine Gun, Campaign World. These two guys right here, they're both the same, but I believe this one is the Plasma Pistol. But there's actually 2 different names, but I'm not sure which is which. There's Plasma Pistol and Hot Plasma Pistol. I never use these, so they're both going to be the category of never use them. Because they're both the same anyway. And I believe you cannot use cat spams on these, so it's a no-go. AK-48. I'm gonna forget all these names, so you guys have to leave me in the comment sections down below if I mispronounce these names. So I'm just trying my best and figure out these, because I kind of wish they actually named these off so that way I know what they are. AK-48. Decent for casual players. I believe sometimes bots may use them as well too when you're at level 2 or 3. I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginner players, so it's really good. Dark Mage Wand. This one, I'm gonna say it's OG. And it's also 3 cat spam. Flower Power, it's kind of like for springtime event, but I never use this weapon anyway. The Katana, I did have the previous skin before they revamped it over to this one because this one's really good. I'm gonna say it's OG on this one because the best thing I like about it is the acceleration on kill. Like when you kill the enemy, you get a speed boost effect. Machine Gun, decent for casual players. Last Kiss, it's an OG weapon. You can use it for 3 cat spams, but I use this one for like Valentine's Day events, but I'm gonna say it's just... I never use this weapon anyway that often. The only thing I use it for is like Valentine's Day events. The dual revolvers, decent for casual players and beginners, but I never use them. No, Avalanche. Sorry, Avalanche. This one I never used, but it's also really good for casual players. Like, if you get this, like, at the very beginning, it's like an OG classic, pixel gun, 3D weapon, like, way back in the years. If you get this, when you're at a low level for beginners and all that, it's really good for, like, level 1 and 2, but when you're up to, like, level 65, it's a no-go on that. Grenade Launcher. OG classic and also for 3 cat spams, but I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players. Marksman, same thing. The revolver, we can use this. It's for the campaign world and all that stuff. I think about like halfway through the campaign world stuff, but there's like still more to go. Night Sword, it's decent for casual players, for like knife party and all that. Same thing with Lava Flail. Any type of melees I call out will be sometimes like OG or also just like decent for casual players, like at the beginning level, like for the beginner levels, like level 5 or 6, or all that stuff. But just one point out there. Predator. I think I'm right. I think I might be wrong for the name. I'm just not sure. Predator. I never used this weapon before. I would tend to just collect it from the armory if it's like there and all that stuff. Flaming Volcano. I did not get this weapon way previous of the Pixagun years ago when I saw it was like available and all that stuff. But I did not get this. I did actually get this from the lottery, but I never used it. Old Comrade. Never used this before, but I do believe it's also decent for casual players if you want to use that for like low level. If it's for like beginners, but I'm gonna say I never used this weapon. Minor weapon, decent for casual players when decent for casuals and for beginners, but for like knife party, but it's really good. Missile thrower or missile thrower, OG weapon, and also good for 3 cat spams. It's the same thing as Armageddon, but the only downside is I think it's like less damage than the Armageddon. Razor thrower. It's an OG classic weapon. It's possible for 3 cat spams, but I'm gonna say sometimes I use it, but I never use it that often. But I'm just gonna say I never used it before. I did use it sometimes, but it just nah. Pig Hammer, I did not get the actual weapon, but I did get actually the reskinned Pig Hammer on this one. This one I'm gonna say it's probably for beginner players. If they had this weapon before when they were like level 1 or 2, you can actually go for it. But I'm gonna say I never used it before because I did not actually get it. Secret Forces Rifle, decent for casual players and for beginners. I kind of wish it would put into OG category, but there's been a huge nerfs about it. But I'm just gonna say decent for casuals and beginners. Plasma Rifle, this one decent for casual players, but I just never used it. Battle Shovel had to be OG on this one. OG and 3 cat spams. It's really good. If you have this on mythical tier, congratulations, because I believe I only had this on common because I didn't know that people actually got this on mythical before they started changing things around. Like if people have this on common or like I have a level like 30 or something, like for example, if I'm like a level 31 and I still have my shovel at like common grade, you can't even go up to like rare, then to epic, then to legendary, then to add mythical. So it's a no-go on that one, unfortunately. Cherry Bomb, I never used this weapon before. Prototype, it's an OG 3 cat spam weapon. Really good. I did have this at legendary, now I have a mythical. Really good for cat spams. The laser minigun, never used this weapon before. Magic Bow, I did get this at level 52, and it's also really good for a decent and casual player for beginners. You can also use this for like raids and all that. I did use this for Magical Valley once at level 52, and I believe sometimes it hits like a one hit on enemy with the head, or sometimes on the body as well too. Mega Destroyer is a OG weapon and also good for 3 cat spams because it's also the first introduction with a shotgun that has a scope on it. Really good. Signal Pistol, you can use this for 3 cat spams, but it's also for decent for casuals and for beginner players, but it's only like a one-time use, so it's decent for these guys. The Snowball Gun, I think it's called Snowball Machine Gun, but I could be wrong. This one I never used, but it has a great ammo cap, like an ammo usage for 25, but I'm just gonna say I never used it before. Firestorm, it's the same thing as Grenade Launcher, decent for casual players. I believe you can get this weapon when you go to like one of the actual like apps like Facebook or Twitter or whatever else, but to get this weapon. But I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners if you actually need to get this weapon. Double Barrel Shotgun is for campaign world only, we can't get that weapon. Stinger, decent for casual players, but cannot be cat spammable, so it's that category. Christmas Sword, it's possible for 3 cat spams, it's also an OG weapon, but it's also decent for casual players and beginners. Sunrise, this one, I never used this weapon before. I'm just going to say I never used it because I do tend to collect any weapons I tend to get, but it's also possible for 3 cat spams, but I'm just going to say I never used it before. Steamed Revolver, never used it, but it's also good for casual players when you're at a low level. Plasma Releaser, never used this weapon before. Stormhammer, decent for casual players and beginners. The only one thing I know is I had like a 40% buff before they tend to nerf the area effect on it, so I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners. Base Cannon, it's an OG and 3 cat spam weapon you can use, really good, but there's another weapon that's also good for that as well too. Fast Death, I'm gonna say, is for decent casual players and beginners. It's also for semi-auto backup. Heavy Shotgun, possible for 3 cat spams if you're lucky on it, but it's also an OG weapon, but I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners because it's like a rapid fire shotgun. Hitman Pistol, decent for casual players and beginners. Pixel Gun, you can use this for cat spams, and it's also OG because it's the first ever introduction on the gallery as well too. Brave Patriot, decent for casual players and for beginners. Dater Hater, this one, I never used this weapon before. Shotgun, it's also an OG weapon and also for 3 cat spams as well too, if you're lucky on it, if you have like max level modules and all that. Same with the pixel gun as well too. Water Rifle, never used it before. Same thing as Water Pistol. Scythe, it's also decent for casual players and for beginners. Steamed Revolver, no. Oh wait, no, I already said Steamed Revolver, sorry. Steamed Shotgun, it's an OG weapon and also maybe for 3 cat spams, but I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners. SWAT Rifle will be the same thing for that one. You can get this at level 2 or 3 or maybe level 4 or 5, but I believe bots also use these. Bots use these as well too, but I could be horribly wrong on it. Solar Ray Rifle, decent for casual players and for beginners. Pumpkin Thrower, I did not get this way Pixel Gun years ago, but I did actually get it from the Halloween lottery. But sometimes I only used it for like holiday occasions, so I'm gonna say I never used it. I can only use it for holiday occasions and a lot of stuff in general, but I'm gonna say like I just never used it before and all that. Hunger Bow, not to be confused with the Hungry Bow, it's actually just Hunger Bow. It's good for cat spams and also an OG weapon, but I believe like it's the same similarity skin as the sniper rifle, but I'm just gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners if they want to use that for Sniper Fort. It also has like a silent mode as well too, like you can't even hear it like when the bows are been shot. State Defender, decent for casual players and for beginners. The High Voltage, decent for casual players and for beginners. Firestorm? No. I forgot what that name is called, but I think it's called the Firestorm. I had to look it up. Or maybe you guys can help me leave this in the comments section down below. I just had to remember what it was called. I believe this one's Firestorm, but I forgot what this one was called as well too. I think they're both the same name, but it could be totally wrong on this one. This one I never got, actually, but I never used it before. I only tend to collect it. Wizard Wand I did actually get from like level 52. It's also decent for casual players and for beginners, but the Dark Mage Wand is also better for OG and 3 cat spams as well. Dual Hawks, these ones are good for OG and 3 cat spams as well too if you're really lucky on them. The Fire Demon, OG weapon and 3 cat spams. The Impulse Sniper Rifle, never used it, but it's also good for decent casual players and for beginners at level 3. Sparky Blaster, never used it before, but it's also my the electricity type, but I just never used it before. Sniper Rifle would be OG category on this one, really good. Big Buddy, OG and 3 cat spammable as well too, really good. The H-Razor, this one is really good for decent casual players and for beginners, but I'm going to say it's an OG weapon because it's really fast and has like a fast fire rate on this one. Easter Bazooka, I never used this weapon before, but it's also good for cat spams, but it only has like a one-time use on it. Same thing as the Apocalypse, but this one's way better. Crystal Laser Cannon, decent for casual players and for beginners, but I'm going to say it's an OG weapon. It has a super fast fire rate on it. The Uzi, this one is only campaign weapon only. Solar Power Cannon, never used it before. Well, actually, I tend to use it, but it's also good for decent casual players and for beginners. Possible for cat spams an OG weapon, but I'm going to say it's for that category, but I'm not sure it's cat spamable on that one. Warrior Axe, this one I'm going to have to say is decent for casual players and for beginners, for like low level for knife party. Finally, we have is Dragon Breath. This one I'm going to say I never used it before, but it's like only like it's like the same thing as the freeze ray rifle, but I'm going to say it's going to be I never used that weapon before, but I intend to collect it for all that. And here is my actual list for the first 100 weapons of Pixelgun 3D. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and I'll be making part 2 of this. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, Lightning Strike.